It's Wednesday, November 16, and time for the Barbados Today morning update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. The top story at this hour, President of the National Union of Public Workers, Kenny McDowell, is strongly defending himself and his union. This after Government Minister Donville Innes tore into the union's leadership in Parliament yesterday, accusing it of not only engaging in irresponsible and reckless behavior, but of playing politics with the island's 50th anniversary celebrations. However, McDowell fired back at the minister, telling Barbados Today that if anyone was being wild and reckless, it was Innes himself, who he says is making baseless and unsubstantiated claims. However, he agreed with the minister that politics was definitely at play in the current dispute between the NUPW and the government. But he says it's from the government's side and not his union.
What is happening to me is pure victimization. If you look at the facts of the case, and I have tried not to speak on the case so much because I don't really want to be judge and jury in my own case, but if you look at the facts of the case, you can clearly see that it is a clear case of victimization. The whole thing just doesn't make sense. It is a botched job by the government to remove me from the office of president. Remember that they would have started first with 2 no-confidence motions. Then they went to the Severance Payments Tribunal and they tried to stop me from sitting on the tray. I still haven't been able to hear back from the Minister of Labour on that. So I'm yet to sit on the Severance Payments Tribunal. And this third attempt now is to revert me to my substantive post. So there have been many attempts by this government to remove me from the office of president, but let it be known that I will not be silent. Let it be known that I will continue to represent the workers of this country to the best of my ability. And let it be known that I will remain as president of NUPW.
Beyond backward, that's how Tourism Minister Richard Seeley describes recent criticisms leveled against his government's proposed plans to construct the multi-million-dollar Hyatt Hotel at Carlisle Bay. And he's made it clear that the Frondell-Stewart administration was not about to yield to any critics in terms of its tourism ideas. He told a recent political meeting that the plans were at an advanced stage. And while not calling any names, he expressed disappointment in persons who he said marketed themselves as very progressive.
There's nothing wrong with the government pursuing its stated policy of developing Carlisle Bay because of what it can do for St. Michael communities. And I know there's this view held by some, including some people who, frankly, I'm a little disappointed because they market themselves as being very progressive. And yet, it is beyond backward for me for you to say that simply because St. Michael is almost populous parish, that what happened in Christchurch, what happened in St. Philip, what happened in St. James, and I guess even St. Peter to some extent, it can't happen here. I think that it will be a great thing if we had hotels and other tourism facilities, or should I say some more, we have a few now, in that Carlisle Bay area. It will work wonders.
In other news, the environmental challenges facing the Combermere school will no doubt be a top agenda item for the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union this afternoon. This as the reoccurring mysterious environmental problems plaguing the Waterford institution since last academic year has again forced the government to shut down the school until further notice. In a release via the Government Information Service, the ministry said the closure was to allow further investigation into the situation. It also said it was in the process of securing suitable alternate accommodation for the school population, and parents and teachers would be informed in the coming days. Senior teacher Reverend Charles Morris tells Barbados Today he is unsure about the future operations at the school, and he said many staff members have indicated an unwillingness to return to the compound. Police say they have made a breakthrough into the shooting death of Jessy David Moore. Police spokesman Acting Inspector Roland Cobbler says a man is currently assisting investigators with their probe into Moore's unnatural death. The victim, a 33-year-old from Freehill, Blackrock, St. Michael, died on November 6 from gunshot injuries sustained while attending an authorized fete at Plumtree Road, St. Stephen's, Blackrock, St. Michael. He was rushed to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by private motorcar but was pronounced dead on arrival. In sports, this year's Barbados Secondary Schools Netball League Under-19 title will be heading to either Government Hill St. Michael or Husbands St. James. That's because last year's champions Springer Memorial and Queen's College won their respective semi-final encounters yesterday to secure their place in that final. Playing at the National Stadium, Springer Memorial fought their way back from 3 quarters in deficit to defeat Christ Church Foundation School by a mere 1 point, score 23-22. In the other match played, Queen's College were victorious 16-15 over Leicester Vaughan Secondary School. Now the final will play this Thursday at the National Stadium.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Republic Bank just like Santa Claus. Maisie fix up the kitchen and a new TV we get in. A special time to commemorate. Republic will help you celebrate.
Get ready to celebrate 50 years of independence right through to the best Bajan Christmas ever with a Make It Happen loan of up to $50,000 from Republic Bank. Give your home a good old Bajan spooser, buy some new furniture and appliances, or take an after-holiday trip to visit loved ones over and away. You could also be one of our lucky winners to share in fabulous prizes. Just visit any branch to apply. Go to republicbarbados.com or call us at 227-2700. We're also available via Skype and FaceTime. Special conditions apply.
In Bajan style, it will be great with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The Bahamas is still calculating the cost of the damage left behind by Hurricane Matthew. Prime Minister Perry Christie made the revelation as he addressed the country's accountants. We get more in this report from Clint Watson of ZNS News.
Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie, while speaking to a room filled with accountants at the opening of Chartered Accountants Week, says a number of issues have yet to be factored in to determine the exact impact of the storm.
We're still trying to estimate the impact of Hurricane Matthew, because when you look at the concessions that we are having to provide and lost income as a result of it, when you look at the closure of businesses and the fact that as long as they remain closed, economies are hampered, you know we are in a very challenging situation.
It's no secret that the island of Grand Bahama has been severely impacted and its economy taken another major hit. Mr. Christie revealed that combined with the effect of the storm on hotel properties, particularly those owned by the Hutchinson Whampoa Group, owners of the container port, leaving some of them closed, there's the issue of a major consideration underway to sell the Lucayan Beach, Memories, and Lighthouse hotels.
Meantime, 8 provinces in the Dominican Republic is currently under a state of emergency. President Danilo Medina imposed the emergency in the Caribbean nation after floods caused by heavy rains displaced more than 20,000 people. More than 4,000 homes were flooded and some 50 destroyed after rivers broke their banks. The military rescued 13 people who were stranded in the northeast of the country, even as forecasters predict more rains by this weekend. The flooding comes less than 2 months after Hurricane Matthew swept over the island of Hispaniola, which the Dominican Republic shares with Haiti. And finally, rescue workers in New Zealand have been evacuating scores of residents and tourists from the towns hardest hit by a series of powerful earthquakes. The rescuers have been making use of 4 Air Force helicopters to airlift people from the South Island after battling strong winds and heavy rains. The town northwest of Christchurch has been cut off by landslides triggered by the quakes. Hundreds of aftershocks continue to rock the area. 2 people were killed in the magnitude 7.5 earthquake that struck the South Island early on Monday. And on that note, we come to the end of our news update, but for the very latest, visit our website www.barbadostoday.bv. Also subscribe to our e-paper email updates and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the latest news and sports. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. Good morning.